A report came out yesterday. The Falcons are open for business trading that number 4 pick overall in the draft. And like any draft report, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because I'm not trusting NFL executives at any time of the year, especially leading up to the draft, because they have no incentive to be honest. They want to be deceptive a little bit here. And other teams know that somebody's going to probably try to move up, as the 49ers did. But if teams know what the Lions are going to do at 7, then they can decide if they want to jump them to get that player. Some teams are better at keeping secrets. The Jags kept it completely quiet that they liked Blake Bortles with the number 3 overall pick. That was back in 2014. What a fascinating night that was, where the Jags are on the clock and everybody thinks it could be Johnny Manziel. They didn't even interview. They didn't even bring Blake Bortles to the facility in Jacksonville. Turns out they didn't need to hold that one close to the vest, but a fascinating game that goes on during the days and weeks leading up to the draft. Maybe word gets out from an agent who's trying to advocate for his client, or a college coach is putting something out there, and all of it adds up to a lot of intrigue. But after all, if we knew who the teams were taking, we wouldn't have mock drafts. That would be a devastating blow to a lot of people in the business. Yes, McLevin?
I feel like this is going to be an easy year to mock draft when you get closer because, and I have no idea what's happening at 3. You say it's not 100% decided, but everyone's going to go Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. That doesn't take any inside knowledge to write a perfect top 3 of your mock draft.
Well, okay, you got a head start, but after that, then what happens?
Well, usually if you get 8 in a mock draft, that's a good mock draft. So you're given 3 layups here. Usually that doesn't happen.
I just want to know, of the players that you think will be drafted in the first round, how many of those players will be drafted in the first round? I don't know, the order, because all it takes is, one squirrely executive to go, and we're going to take Mitchell Trubisky. What? Then all of a sudden your mock drafts are mocked. But if you have first round talent, that's what I'm curious about. And if somebody falls out of the first round, then that's where I take note. Because what happened? Somebody overrated this person, somebody underrated this person, somebody jumps up, somebody falls. I just want to see how many first-round picks you get right. Doesn't have to be the order. Now, here's something to consider. We know what Jacksonville's doing. We think we know what the Jets are doing with Zach Wilson. Then you have the Niners. I guess it's going to be Mac Jones from 4 different sources who've told me, but then one of the sources said it still feels like Trey Lance is there on the board for them to at least consider, or they're considering Trey Lance. Then you have the Falcons. Are the Falcons going to take Trey Lance? Could the Falcons trade out of this? It feels like the Falcons, once you knew that you couldn't go up and get 3, now you got 4. Now 4 is there on the board for somebody to go up and get. Do you really like Trey Lance? Do you really like Justin Fields? Or do you like Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida? Do you like Jamar Chase, the wide receiver out of LSU? Those are some of the questions that you have. Penei Sewell out of Oregon. How much do you like him? Do you go up and get him? Rashawn Slater, he's a tackle out of Northwestern. These are the guys being discussed. What if this happens? Let's say Falcons don't trade. They stay. They either draft Kyle Pitts or they take Trey Lance. Then the Bengals are there. Bengals don't need a quarterback. The Dolphins are 6th. Could the Dolphins actually trade the 6th pick? So they've already traded down. They were at 12, then they went to 6. Could they trade and get a little bit more? Let's say Justin Fields is there. And Denver wants to go get Justin Fields or throw out another team, or Trey Lance is there. Like the Dolphins, I wouldn't rule out trying to make another deal. Do I think Atlanta's going to make a deal? I have no idea. Because now it comes down to, do we do something for Matt Ryan, or do we do something when we move on from Matt Ryan? That's what it feels like. But if you said that I could have Kyle Pitts in Atlanta, the problem with Atlanta is their defense. It's always been their defense. You're not really addressing. So do I want to take the 4th best quarterback? That's what it comes down to me with Atlanta. If I'm going to replace Matt Ryan, same thing with the Packers. Is Jordan Love the best quarterback out of that draft? And the answer is no. But you're going to replace Aaron Rodgers eventually with Jordan Love, or at least that's the game plan. So you don't even get the first or second or third best quarterback, at least by most analysts. So that's the curious part of all of this is, if I'm going to get somebody, am I getting the guy that I truly want? Not, well, we got the fourth best quarterback. Now, maybe Trey Lance proves to be better than everybody here. But that would be my logic, my thinking here if I'm Atlanta. I don't want the fourth best quarterback. I'd rather have the best player at that position. And if that player is Kyle Pitts, then that's who I take. That's what I think is the most important part of this. Matt Ryan's going to be 36 next year. Hasn't made the Pro Bowl since 2016. Last 3 seasons, they've won 18 total games. No playoff appearances. He makes $36 million. Atlanta can get out of the contract after next season. That makes it easy decision for me if I feel like Justin Fields or Trey Lance is the guy that I want. I got no pressure to start him. We're not going to be factoring in the NFC South. Get your guy if you truly feel it's your guy. And then the Bengals, maybe the Bengals trade out of that pick. Maybe they trade down. Maybe they could get who they want, a little bit later on at 9. Maybe Denver wants to move up. It's a chess match. Sometimes it's checkers, sometimes it's chess. But, you're trying to figure out what these teams are going to do, and most of these teams aren't telling anybody. Yeah, Paul.
The Falcons, though, they may be thinking, we're not usually in the top 5. They don't usually have top 5 draft picks. They're always in the middle, or they're a pretty good team. The last time they had a top 5 draft pick, they had the 3rd pick in the 2008 draft, and they took Matt Ryan.
Yeah.